We've got some fantastic objection handling scripts that work really, really well. But what I always tell people is that it's not necessarily always an objection. Oftentimes, it's simply what we call a knee-jerk reaction. And so before we get to the point of let's handle this objection and let's, really handling objections means that they've got something that they just, right? It's combative. And don't you want a system where it's just a nice flow and you're getting to the real root of the issues and providing solutions to their challenges and being viewed as an advisor? Well, it starts with the way you handle it. So think about this picture real quick. You walk into a listing appointment, you haven't secured the listing, and the seller is looking around, they're embarrassed a little bit, and they say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, it's a mess." You don't look at them and say, "Yeah, this is one of the worst houses I've ever seen." You say, don't worry about it. I'm a professional. I've seen everything. This is not a concern. In fact, I see what we're working on here and I'm excited. Show me around, right? And we handle that in a very professional manner. The way we handle their concerns, not objections, inside of that initial conversation is almost identical. So for example, I already gave you inside of the members area, you've got a lot of different ways to handle their questions. Like, for example, how'd you get this information? We don't say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to bug you or intrude with you." No, we say, "Hey, no problem. Great question. Let me explain how this works, and let me explain why I'm safe." So the same thing, right? When we're handling their questions, inside the initial objection of the cold call conversion, where they might say, "Oh, I'm not selling the home right now, and I'm not hiring agents right now." I don't need to try to convince them on why that's a bad statement. I just need to acknowledge it. "Hey, I totally understand. I specialize in selling homes that other people didn't. When are you interviewing agents next?" Or, "What is the plan moving forward?" Or, "Hey, why did the agent that you previously hired to get the job done, why did they say it didn't sell?" Right? I'm not going to make a mountain out of that molehill. I'm just going to acknowledge it. "Hey, that makes sense. Out of curiosity, I was looking online. I'm surprised. Why did the agent say the home didn't sell?" All right. So when handling objections, remember, most of the time they're not actually objections. They're just knee-jerk reactions that you don't need to buy into. The same way when my children throw a fit, I don't need to acknowledge that type of behavior. I can appreciate where you're coming from. And this type of behavior is just you having an emotional reaction. We're going to take a couple deep breaths and we're going to move forward. Same thing with agents. Let's just go ahead and smile and nod. "Hey, no problem. I'm a professional. I've seen it all. We're going to get this handled for you without any concerns." Okay, start here and then digest some of the objection handlers, and I promise you're going to have a much better response, much more influence, and it's just going to be a much more enjoyable process, which is obviously what you want, right? Anyway, on to the next video. Have a good time. If you have any questions, come to the mastermind.